Hello everyone, how are you doing? It's Amanda. It's the 29th of November. No, sorry, it's the 30th of November, last day of the month, December the 1st tomorrow. So I wanted to get this video up promptly because December's going to be very busy. It always is for all of us. And I can see that already in some of the cards that I've pulled. So I feel if I get the message up early, hopefully lots of people will be able to watch it before all the craziness sets in. Let's dream in a month of infinite possibilities is what I'm hearing. A month of miracles and a month of profound peace for us all. That's the wish, that's the dream. I'm going to look at some of the energies that we've got around us that may be either helping to bring that about or hindering it. Sorry if I'm going to cough and splutter a bit through this. I've still got a bit of a funny throat, so bear with me. Firstly, I want to say a big thank you to one of you, Mary Jose, I think that's how you pronounce your name, from Canada, who yesterday sent me a box of 7 different new tarot and oracle decks to say thank you for the 7 years that I've been on YouTube. So there's one deck for each of the years, and it was just the most amazing gift to receive. I'm so grateful, thank you. And I'm actually using 3 of these new decks in December's reading that I've never used before. I'm using the Herbcrafters Tarot by Latisha Guthrie. Okay. I'm using a deck called The Journey by Laura Emily. And I'm using a Lucy Cavendish deck called Blessed Be. And I will also pull in my own Metatron deck. So at the moment, that's what I'm playing with and what I've got out. Let's just get straight into the message. So I've shuffled the Herbcrafter Tarot, and the first 2 cards that came out, actually all 4 cards that have come out, I'm just noticing, I've only got 4 cards here at the moment, are major arcana. So when you get 4 major arcana at the start of a reading, it says to me that these are energies that we will be working through, okay? Almost like unavoidable. Having said that, they're all pretty good, with the exception of some caution that is required. And the first card that came out was the card of Temperance, which is linked into patience, but it came in upside down. So I'll show you the card. Okay, upside down, card of patience. Just show you the right way round, of course. And these are linked to particular flowers and herbs. So this one links into the flower, which is camellia. And this illustration shows a Japanese tea ceremony. Now, I have mentioned Japanese tea ceremonies in at least 2 other videos. I think it was David Bowie that brought it through. I think I'm right in saying that. I think it was David. Or was it John? No, it wasn't David. It was John Lennon. John Lennon, in one of the last videos I did with John Lennon, channeling him, he brought through the Japanese tea ceremony. It was John. It was definitely John. And here we've got an illustration of, again, the ceremony of making tea. I wonder whether this is a nod next year to Japan and 2020 energy, because next year we have the Olympic Games from Japan. So I'm just going to read you the words from this particular card, or some of the words linking into the tea ceremony, and why we are maybe being drawn to this. It's to do with focusing on the present moment. And if you think about December, it's always a month which can rush by if we're not careful. It's a month with a lot of activity and busyness. I've just been into my hometown just to pick up some items this morning. And as I say, it's the 30th of November as I'm making this, and it's already really busy in town, really, really busy, much busier than normal. Lots of Christmas shoppers out. I went in with my youngest daughter. We did about an hour of shopping, and then she sort of said, I've had enough. And she was right. You know, in retrospect, she was absolutely right. We'd had enough. So the frantic pace of it all was quite exhausting. So let's talk about the need to be more present this December. So this card and the detail of the tea ceremony, it says focus on the present moment. By focusing on the present moment, it brings balance to opposing forces. Now, the last big long read that I did on YouTube, I was talking about being the middle pillar. Do you remember? Being the middle pillar between two different extremes. So here, it's almost like a continuation. It's saying focus on the present moment because that helps bring balance to opposing forces. Give every task before you the gift of your full attention. Stillness reveals the middle way. And the tea ceremony is an act of mindfulness. The tea plant itself is rich in antioxidants and strengthens the heart. And preparing a pot of tea with intention cultivates harmony and promotes well-being. The ritual becomes the holy alchemy that affects change. There is magic in the mundane. I'll repeat that. There is magic in the mundane. Ordinary tea bags stop minor bleeding, soothe sunburn and reduce eye inflammation. Camellia is also the oldest, most widely used botanical in history. So let ancient practices inspire fresh ideas. So the card talks about creating a simple ceremony for peace around your daily cup of tea. It talks about set the sacred in the simple, trust the magic of presence and create new magic from what is familiar. Remember, this came in the reverse position. So it's saying we are not doing that at the moment as a collective. We are not stopping. It's funny, isn't it? I've literally got these roses virtually up my nose. And it's just the way I've put them there because I was trying to get them in shot and I also wanted to get Metatron in shot. But I realised they literally are. It's almost like, what's that expression, wake up and smell the roses. It's literally like, look at the beauty that is right in front of you, that when we are so busy rushing, we do not see, we do not witness. And I feel as though what Metatron is doing is this month pulling us back from that habit, and it is only habit, that is making us want to speed up, rush through, and not be fully present in what is a very important month. It's a very important month because it is a stepping stone to this, okay? We've got the energy of the Fool, which is the new beginning, the complete and utter new beginning, the start of a completely new cycle. It's lying at the bottom of this read at the moment, so it's what's wanting to come in. It's not quite yet here. It is here energetically, it's just physically hasn't manifested yet. But for that to come in, we have to be very, very present this month, very, very mindful, and we have to pull back from these tendencies to just rush, rush, rush. And that's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a challenge in a month where the collective energy is to not do that, okay? Is to do the complete opposite of being mindful and being present. But we're really going to have to try and keep ourselves in check this month as much as we can to do that. What does that mean? It means accepting in new practices to help us, whether it's 5 minutes of meditation at the start of the day and at the end of the day, whether it's going for a little walk in nature every day, whether it is something like a tea ceremony where you actually, you're not just gulping it down, you're actually really savouring the gift of the tea into your mouth, into your body. It's funny, actually, there's a funny little parade around the corner from where I live. And for some reason, about 6 months ago, a tea manufacturer set up a shop there. No one ever goes into this shop. Actually, I poked my nose through the door literally yesterday thinking about it, and it's just full of teapots and different types of tea. And obviously the shop is more a front basically for the online business that obviously sustains it. It's more like a distribution hub. But literally right round the corner there are all these beautiful beautiful teapots, and I feel as though I need to go and buy something, because it's an act of the act of ceremony. That's the point of it. The act of ceremony is very important. What that basically says is that there can be the sacred moments in the mundane. There can be sacred moments in the everyday. I just had another example this morning. I took my youngest daughter off, and she wanted to get a little bit of makeup, and it's the first time she's ever wanted to wear a little bit of makeup. So we went into town, and there was this lovely young girl who sort of sat her down, put some very natural makeup onto her. Almost looks like she's not wearing it, to be honest, but there's just a little bit of light covering. And I was watching the young girl applying it, because I've been wearing makeup since I was about 13, so for decades. And it was beautiful to watch the magic that was created, that in these sort of the powders and the oils and the colours, and look what you could do this or you could do that, and talking about the ingredients that went into this particular brand. I will name the brand. It was Benefit, and the reason we chose Benefit is because they are against animal testing, so that's what we went for. But I was really present in that moment, and I really got something from it. So that's what it's all about. It doesn't matter whatever anything else is going on around. Just be present in every single moment that you are blessed to receive in this life. Now, to go with that thing about slowing down, we then have a card which is the card of strength. And that's Bella outside the door in case you can hear her. And of course, dogs are not allergic. I don't think they're allergic. They're intolerant to garlic. Okay, so it's just a nod from Bella to say don't give dogs garlic. But in all seriousness, this is the card of strength, but it comes with the energy of garlic. Okay, now when I saw that, the first thing I was linking into was psychic vampires, energy vampires that can try to take our energy away from us, okay? People that zap you basically, whether they are very negative, whether they are, negativity is a real zapper actually, but I'm also hearing those people that just zap joy from every moment, So it's as though the garlic, or the energy of garlic, is being given to ward off those energy vampires that are very prevalent at this time, and that are trying to distract us from this new beginning that wants to come in next year. I want to say something about energy zapping. I have noticed over the last couple of days online, a few videos went up from a couple of different people, and they were terribly, terribly negative in nature. And these are people that are, in our spiritual community. And it's a very fine line, because it's almost as though by focusing too much on, the horrors that are out there and the negativity, you can attract it in. But equally, we mustn't be so glib as just to turn away from the darkness. Being able to work with light is very much being able to face darkness in the collective and in ourselves too. But I do feel as though I've talked about the rabbit hole a lot over the last couple of months, but I'm just seeing some great people that are going down that rabbit hole and aren't coming back up, or are being very attacked for doing so. So I feel as though garlic is one of nature's greatest weapons, actually, to help protect us at a spiritual level, at an energetic level, if you do choose that path. It's not a path that I recommend in terms of going down the rabbit hole. I've mentioned that before, but you know, I just feel like I need to say that. But there seems to be a lot on this card also that's linked into antibacterial energy, keeping our space clean, keeping our body clean. There's also an illustration of honey there as well. Honey is a natural antibacterial agent as well. So honey and garlic seems to be a nod to the need for us to look after our own physical well-being at this time. At the moment, Northern Hemisphere, we've got, you know, winter rolling in, lots of bugs, lots of people feeling a little bit below par. And rather than just reaching automatically for some shop-bought remedy, remember nature has all that you actually need to really get yourself back up and running. When I was in USA and fighting off a little bit of what I've got now, my friend kept making me honey and lemon, grated lemon, which was so lovely, and it really, really did the job as well. So remember, and again, I feel as though Metatron's saying, you know, go back to that, because again, if you think about December, we're bombarded a lot of the time with sugary snacks, fat-laden snacks, and it's as though, in terms of being a light worker and the ascension path that we're on, I feel as though to bring in the new beginning and the Empress energy that we've also got here, I'll talk about that in a moment, but for that new start and that Empress energy to come in, which needs to come in through us and be housed within our physical body, we need to be looking after the physical body a bit more. So I'm not trying to be a real party pooper and say don't enjoy the festivities over Christmas, but it seems to be a nod to don't do it to excess. You know, the card of Temperance is also saying that, because if you do it to excess, it feels as though it's really going to maybe affect you a little bit more this year than it has done in previous years. And that's because we've got very, very potent light codes coming in. They're always potent this time of year, but particularly because we've got 2020 literally on the doorstep, I don't think we're going to be able to get away with abusing our bodies as much as we have in previous years. You know, I was watching a programme on the TV the other day, and it was talking about vegetarian and vegan fare for Christmas Day. Well, one of my, a couple of people in my family are vegetarian, so I always have a vegetarian option on the table. And I was thinking, okay, yeah, prick your ears up, Amanda, right, what can I do that's maybe a little bit different, a little bit more special? And all of the recipes that were being suggested were basically good vegetarian fare, but stuffed with really rich cream, cheese, you know, all very, very high fat quotient to go into something which was naturally quite beautiful and healthy to start with. So yeah, I do think there's something there about the food that we eat, and that we need. I tell you what it is. That feeling on January the 1st, January the 2nd, January the 3rd, January the 4th, where you're making your New Year's resolutions and you're feeling as though you've really overindulged over Christmas. You know, the trousers are feeling tighter, the skin's breaking out in spots, your hair's a bit greasier, you know, you've overdone it, your body's literally creaking, maybe literally, but you know, is showing the strain from that overindulgence. I feel as though from January 2020, we've got to be it's almost like ship shape is what Metatron's saying. So this is almost as though there is a bit of prudent energy coming in here to not go wild, not go too wild this year. That doesn't mean that you can't have fun and that you can't have a great time. I've noticed even down my little road, people are putting their lights up, you know, they're putting their lights up early this year, much earlier than they have done in previous years. And it's almost as though people are just needing that natural lift. There's a lot of doom and gloom out there, and it's like people have had enough of it. But I feel as though what Spirit is saying is have a party, have celebration, but it can be done in a different way. It can be done in a way which doesn't necessarily bring your own vibration down in terms of what you're doing to your physical body. So like have a nice glass of champagne if that's what you like, and that's what you can afford. But you don't need to keep drinking bottle after bottle after bottle. Not that people can necessarily afford that. I'm just using it as an analogy. I'm feeling the same thing with regard to gifting this year. Doesn't need to be the huge pile of presents under the tree. It can just be a few things that are really considered, thought through, bought from the heart, that are special, ethically sourced. This is the whole vibration that's coming through this year, okay, as well as the natural world and the gifts that can be given from the natural world as well. Yeah, I will just say now as well, crowning the reading, I've got the energy of the Empress, and the Empress energy comes in with the rose. Oh, it comes in with the rose. I'm sitting by the rose, okay? So on this card, there we go. We've got the rose. That almost looks a bit like a tea bag in the middle, in the shape of a rose, or a honeycomb, as created by the bees. But we've got the energy of rose. And oh wow, right beside it, I'm just realizing what's happened. I've got the rose in a child spray, which I got out, and I wasn't quite sure what I was even going to do with this spray for this particular reading. Can you see it's just such a perfect match to the roses that I've got here right beside me? So this is the rose in a child spray. Let's spray it and let's just see what message we have from Archangel Metatron, linked into the inner child. Just put the colour up to the camera so you can see that gorgeous colour. Look at that rose. Precious is that. How precious is our inner child. It's as though we're being encouraged to link back to our inner child and to let her or him rediscover the magic of Christmas, of this season, but again, taking it back to a more innocent age. I might have told this story last December, but it's still a story that's worth retelling because it is very innocent and pure. And I grew up, certainly first 10 years of my life, in this 16th century cottage, and it had a windy old staircase in the centre of the cottage, and it wasn't quite a spiral, but it wound its way round. It was only a little cottage, but it's a funny little staircase. Every single step that you stepped on would creak, and my mum and dad at that time didn't have an awful lot of money, so we didn't have huge, lavish Christmases in terms of expensive things. There were always presents under the tree and always enough food and everything like that. I didn't grow up in poverty. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that my parents worked very hard for what we had. But we always had advent calendars, and we kept the advent calendars from the previous year. So Paul and I, we probably had about 10 advent calendars from previous years, and then we get the new one, and they were in the days where you didn't have chocolate behind the doors or anything very grand. It was just the picture, and we put them all the way up the staircase, and then every single morning we would get up so excited. I'm back there now, guys. We were so excited, up the stairs, opening every single door. And the thing about it that was so precious was that we were reopening doors that we'd already opened on previous years, as well as our new calendar. So they were pictures we'd already seen, but there was something just so special about that. And I remember also at Easter time, my dad used to hide Easter eggs around the cottage as well. And, they'd just be, I don't know, in cupboards or whatever. But again, I just remember thinking how magical it was, that whole thing. And my dad used to take me out as well, and he would buy me a Christmas dress. He always bought me a dress for Christmas. And I'm rather disappointed that I didn't carry that tradition on with my own girls, actually. I don't know why we didn't. Well, no, it wasn't for me to do. It was a thing, father-daughter thing. My husband didn't do it with his girls, so it was a father-daughter thing. But anyway, without getting too maudlin about the whole thing, it's more just I'm explaining things because I feel there's a purity to the stories. all of those events that I've just described to you, they lit up my childhood, and they were moments that I remember with love. And it's whatever age you are now, it's about trying to get back in touch with that little boy you are or the little girl you are. And if you haven't got any pleasant memories, trying to create some new ones for yourself, for that child. And it can be in anything, you know. To me, as a grown-up now, I still have so much joy just from peering in people's windows and looking at their Christmas trees. I better counter that. Looking at the Christmas trees, you know, I love it. I love all of that, all the twinkle. So that's about being present, really, isn't it? Going into town, seeing the beauty of lights and colour. I don't know. So again, it comes back to that thing about mindfulness and being present. So we are also being encouraged to be present for our inner child, okay? And to do something for him or her that is just going to help lift them, okay? And only you know what that is. And if you don't know what it is, then maybe ask Archangel Metatron to help remind you or nudge you in some way. It could be some beautiful book you used to read as a child, or you always wanted to read as a child. You know, go and get the old books out. Read them to your grandchildren, read them to your own children, but read them for yourself as well. It could be watching a Christmas film. It could be doing anything, but it's something that nourishes the inner child, okay? And why are we doing that? We're doing that because it feels as though, let me pull one card on that. Why the emphasis on the inner child, Metatron? Let's pull one more card. Why the emphasis on the inner child? We've got the Empress, the mother, the mothering energy. We're being asked to help mother ourselves. Nurture ourselves as well as others, but, you know, nurture ourselves. Why the emphasis on our inner child? Show me the energy of the inner child, collective inner child. Show me the energy of the collective inner child. The Five of Fire, Black Cohosh. Okay, that's the image. I'm going to look up the meaning of this card. Five of Fire. It's a lovely deck, I have to say. Really, really special deck. Here we go. Yeah, Five of Fire. So it says, sorry guys. Honour the fire. Remember, this is linked into our inner child. And we're being asked to help our inner child this month. So it says, honour the fire that rises up within. Neither deny your anger, nor let it rule you. Discern whether your rage is righteous or if it is rooted in fear and insecurity. Through the survival of Black Cohosh is threatened by loss of habitat, it remains an important medicinal. The tincture supports the female reproductive system, alleviating pain and releasing stuck fluid from the body. Black Cohosh teaches us to harness the power of our own creative source. And as the tall flower bends easily in the wind, cultivates a strong, flexible backbone. So this is bringing up the energy of anger. It's also saying anger is sacred. It's interesting. Anger is sacred. And it says, women's rage is a force that will change the world. Burn through the slumber of helplessness and complacency. So I think linked into the inner child, it's saying that some of our children are angry, okay? There's anger within that needs to be listened to, that needs to be released. Maybe you've experienced injustices or pain, something that's happened in your childhood, something that is still unresolved. It's a time for that to come up for healing. But it's also saying here, I love this point about women's rage is a force that will change the world. Yeah, I'm really feeling that, you know, with the Empress energy, that women that won't stand for any more. You know, if we're going to birth a completely new, okay, we're birthing a completely new world next year in 2020, and it's coming in with the energy of the Empress, which is the divine feminine, and it's like enough. And I suppose if you think about that, the feminine energy is the energy of the mother. The mother is the one that gives birth to the children. And it's as though, it's as like the mothers of the world are saying, no more of this. And I feel as though the mothers of the world are going to be leading the way. I also feel as though women who are mothers are going to be coming increasingly into positions of power within our world as well. So that's one to watch. We've already got a few. I've got Jacinda in New Zealand. Just trying to think of anybody else. But there are a few. In the UK, we've got an election soon coming, of course, on 12/12. And I don't know whether Jo Swinson is a mother. She's the Liberal Democrat leader. I feel as though she's going to play a more important role in UK politics going forward, even if she's just like the peacemaker between the two other parties. There's some role there. It may well be true for USA politics as well, I don't know. But it's like there are going to be more women coming in who are mothers, okay, into positions of power. Women who hold that maternal energy, basically. Right, let's pull a card now from, what's this deck? This is called The Journey. Let's pull a card from The Journey. I've also got a deck of cards that came in my box of 7, which is called Doorways, and I'll see if I might pull one from there as well. In fact, should we do the Doorway card before the Journey card? That would make sense, wouldn't it? Look at this. This deck is called Divine Doors. I've never seen this deck before in my life, by Engracia. They're little cards, and they've all got pictures. Look at this. They've all got pictures of different doors on them, different gateways. How cool is this? I'm going to be using this deck for years, I'm sure. Every portal, I'm going to be getting my doors deck out. Right, anyway, let's just think about the doorway then, Metatron, for this December 2019. Let's have a door. And of course, we talk about doors and advent calendars. 24 doors. Let's have the first door. Let's have the door to December. Let's see what the door to December looks like. I thought that one might come through. It's linked into the moon. Okay, can you see that card? They're quite simple. They've just got a little thing on the back, and it says, draw down the moon. The forest nymphs dance in sheer delight, singing soft songs. Find us in the wild good night. Draw down the moon. There's something very female about this energy for December. We've got the energy of the Empress, and we've got the energy of the moon now. So this is the card. This is the gateway. Let's put that there. And let's now pull a journey card. One card for December, please. Tribe. It's the card of tribe. Can you read that? Okay. What does it say? It says, tribe, ask the universe to start bringing in like-minded people. I talked about that on one of my little mini videos last few days, or on Facebook. I've talked about that somewhere. So important that we're bringing in our tribe right now. We're bringing in our tribe for our young people, for our children. We're bringing in our tribe for ourselves. We're bringing in the tribe. We're bringing in the tribe. And the tribe are needed to start this new cycle. I have to say as well at this point that I feel as though this is literally like new feet on the sand, okay? New feet on the sand, new feet on earth. I think a lot of souls are going to be coming in in 2020. And I also feel as though there may well be a lot of passings, people choosing to cross over between now and the new year as well. There always are a lot of people that choose to pass around Christmas and New Year, but I feel as though what I'm hearing is there's going to be a stampede. There's going to be, and it's not a stampede out in terms of desperation or anything like that. It's more that some of these souls that are choosing to pass now are making way for newer souls to come in. And the souls that are coming in are more equipped with the energies that are going to be needed for the next century. I'm hearing the next century. So some of these new souls that will be coming in 2020 are going to be coming in, and they're going to have very long lives as well. Okay, they will be centurions. They will see out the next century as well. But just to try and make some space, there are some volunteer souls who are choosing to return to base camp, let's put it that way. But none of that will be forced. It will be voluntary, is what I'm hearing. Okay, so tribe coming in. Let's pull a card now from the Blessed Bee deck from Lucy Cavendish. And this seems to be a deck which is just like, okay, think about your blessings. Think about what you're thankful for. Let's see what the blessings are in December. What are we being asked to be grateful for, or what are we being blessed by in December? Let's just have one card, please. A blessing of fire. Okay, a blessing of fire. And then on the bottom of the deck, a blessing of protection. Okay, so a blessing of protection, firstly, seems to link into this energy with garlic and strength. Okay, it's a month where this is what saddens me a little bit when I keep going back to, what I was witnessing the other day on YouTube, some people really going into fear-based teaching. If you could only see the level of protection that is around you, that is available for you right now, today, not tomorrow, today, there is no need to go down into these very dark places. If you genuinely trust God and you trust the process, there is no reason to go into complete fear on anything, whether that be, the state of society, the state of the climate, the state of the political situation, or anything else. It's about realizing how protected you are as a light worker and how much strength you have available to you. So the first blessing that you're given in December is a blessing of protection. And it comes under my favourite number, 23, because it's my birthday, as well. Okay, so I'm just mentioning the 23 energy. 2 and 3 make 5, fifth dimensional energy. She's quite sassy, isn't she? Look at her, okay? She's bringing in this protection. It's just like, yeah, nonchalant, a little bit nonchalant. It's like, why are you worrying? Why are you worrying so much? Don't you realise how blessed you are, how protected you are? Stop it. Just flow into that, basically. The other blessing we've got coming in is a blessing of fire, and I think that goes with this energy of black cohosh. Okay, this is sort of this talked about this, the women that are going to help. Let me get the words right. There was a particular word that resonated with me from this one, 5 of fire. It talked about. Was it that card? I think it was. Yeah, women's rage. Women's rage is a force that will change the world, okay? Now, what do we mean by women's rage? What we don't mean by women's rage is women's violence, okay? That is not what we're talking about. We're talking about women's passion, women's strength in numbers, women's ability to group together and support each other, women's power to stand up to any man out there and say enough. And in my head now, I've got as an example Virginia Roberts. Okay, I think she's called Virginia Roberts. That girl, that woman, who is standing up to the I don't want to call them the elite. You know, they think they are the elite. You know, the underbelly of society. I actually want to call them. You know, these secret. You know, Jeffrey Epstein, all of these types of people standing up to the likes of him, the Prince Andrews of this world, whoever else are implicated. You know, it's rage inside her that's enabling her to be able to do that. She's not going to back down any time soon. She is all in and she will see it through. And why will she see it through? She's also got this energy. She's got this energy of like, I know I'm protected because I know that this needs to be brought to a light. This needs to stop. Okay? She's just the first name that came to me. There's many other examples of women around the world rising up and saying enough, taking it now from a completely different arena, a different part of the world. I've got Mala Yousafzai, sorry, I know I haven't pronounced her name right, there, who stood up to the Taliban, you know, in terms of young girls' right to be educated, okay? So many brave young women, older women out there who are just saying, no, we know how powerful we are. And we know that we can change the world by our own determination and our own spirit. And we will not be quiet and we will not stop because we have the energy of the Empress. We are protected and we are going to bring in the new. Wow. Okay. Bringing it now back to your life, a blessing of fire. She looks quite, you know, sexy, passionate, enticing, alluring. I think it's a nod as well for the feminine energy to realise that it's an attractive energy. You know, it's like this is the time to link back in to that which you have within yourself, okay? If you choose to view yourself as downtrodden, you know, ugly, unworthy, then you can absolutely create more of that. If you choose to link into this energy and say, no, I'm actually that, I'm that, that's going to stand you in huge power, particularly, as I say, because of the protection that is around you. Okay. I love that card. Shall I read the message that goes with it? A blessing of fire. As I say, it's the first time I've ever used these cards. Let's put her up to the camera again. A blessing to bring passion, motivation, and creative spark to your life and to the lives of those you touch. May you have rising within you from that radiant heart the fire in the head of the poets of old, the ancient brilliance that will allow dreams to ignite so that you shine with that inner radiance. May any fear of fire pass from you, and may the only flames you tend be those who serve you your best self. Let any former harm in other lives from this element pass away now, and let a great spark from the heart of the universe rekindle your love of warmth, your passion, your intensity, and your motivation. Let your warm heart be a shelter for others who come to you, like creatures in the woods come to a campfire, and may the fires within be a place of creativity, of dancing and dreams, of stories told through the flickers of flames. May you always have that warmth and its protection and its ardour for all the days of your life. What are the most amazing words that is, and what an energy that is. Make friends with that fiery side of you, and don't be frightened of it. Okay, don't be frightened of it. There's nothing here about playing small. Even the inner child we were talking about earlier, you know, he or she wants to be heard, okay, wants to be noticed, wants to be acknowledged, wants to have their say, wants to be expressed. No more hiding away. This isn't a month for hiding away. But remember the first thing that we got with this, which is also it's about a month of being very present, being very mindful. So it's as though if you're able to hold that, do it mindfully. Be aware of the power that you actually have at your fingertips. Be aware of the power of your speech, of your gaze, of your very being, of your presence. Realize how powerful you are. And what this is about is holding huge quantity of light. Yeah. Okay. Let's have a Metatron card now. December 2019 Metatron. The card of As Above, So Below has just flipped out. Okay. What else? As Above, So Below. December 2019. Just one energy, please, Metatron. Family. And as above, so below. So yes, December, it's a month to remember family. Those of you that are lucky enough to have a happy family, to honour that, to appreciate that, to be present with that. Those of you that don't have a happy family, of which there are many, or have families where there is a great deal of strife or trouble at the moment, please realise the help that is out there for you. The card of As Above, So Below feels like it's a nod to the family on earth as well as the family in heaven, okay? So ancestors that have passed over, that are still there for you to call on for guidance, help and support. Also your Father in heaven, you know, putting it in old-fashioned language, but that's what I'm hearing. Your Father in heaven, Mother Earth that's here, all of the help that's available as above, so below for the family unit. Now remember, we also had the card of tribe, okay? So family isn't just linked into, you know, mum, dad, brother, sisters, aunts. It's who do you class as your family? Who is your family? At the end of 2019, what does your family look like? How has your family changed? How does your family need to evolve? Sometimes it's also a good time at the end of a year to start thinking about the changes that are going to be needed for the new year. You know, I've got teenagers, so, and you know, one of them is going to be seeking apprenticeship now in January, so it's all change as of yesterday. It's all change. She's not at college anymore. She's going to be doing an apprenticeship, and it's really about embracing that new start. What does that mean? How's that going to work? How do we find that? How do we support her with that? Looking at people we've lost through the year, looking at people that are still here but maybe need extra support, looking at ourselves as a family member and what we give to that family. Are we over-giving or not? Are we doing what's expected or not? And also remember, families are mirrors. Families are mirrors, okay? And we all like to run away and think they're not, but they are. I'll give you an example. I had a situation the other day where I was getting some guidance with regard to, for one of my girls, and somebody said, well, you know, what about hobbies? You know, what are the sort of hobbies that they do? And I answered that, and then she said, what about you? What are your hobbies? And it made me realise that the same patterns were with both mother and child, i.e. too much work and not enough hobbies or play, you know. So don't just point the finger at other members of your family that they do this, they do that. They are reflections of you as well, okay? So there's so much learning and so much growth within the family. And then, of course, at Christmas, you're all forced to sit around the family table and smile at each other. And sometimes you want to kick them underneath the table. I'm not necessarily talking about my own family here, but, you know, it goes on, doesn't it? So, but it is important to appreciate family whilst they're with us, but definitely needing to call on help as well. Spotlight on family, spotlight on tribe, spotlight on who is your family this December. I'm also wanting to widen it up though in terms of who is your family, as in the human family. You know, there's just no escaping that in this new cycle, this new beginning for our world that 2020 seems to usher in, there's more and more links being made every single day, every single week, every single month, linked into unity consciousness. There's no escaping it. So I think that's why we've got that card there as well. Okay, anything else to say for this particular video? I'm going to pull one more card from the first deck that I had, which is the Herbcrafters Tarot. Any other piece of guidance here, Metatron? December 2019. The top, which is sweetgrass. After all of that, sweetgrass. I'm going to have to look up this one. Don't know why we've got that one. So I don't know this word, I'm not familiar with it. Curanderas, I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. Apparently it means healers. So it's the healer of earth is sweetgrass. It's an interesting deck this, I have to say. Right, what's this one about? My ears are going crazy, they're ringing, so this must be an important message. The living earth is our greatest teacher. Okay, the living earth is our greatest teacher. Braid together love, health and wealth, then give it away. Let a holy fragrance bring you home. It says, this card knows that when we share the sweetness of life with another, all may thrive. It's sort of linking into that unity consciousness I was just talking about. She brings attention to the rich bounty that nature provides. She visits her garden and the wild places often and shares her knowledge freely with her people. Sweetgrass grows best in community with other prairie land plants. She understands that sweetgrass flourishes when it is harvested and declines when it is not. She says, thank you, thank you, thank you. People are drawn to her grounded, steady presence. Her counsel brings faith and inspires prosperity. So it seems as though sweetgrass is an energy which reminds us of the power of giving basically, of giving away. That point there that it actually withers if it's not harvested. It has to be harvested for new growth. The living earth is our greatest teacher. Braid together love, health and wealth, and then give it away. That, to be honest, could be the motto for the whole month ahead with December. Braid together love, health and wealth, and then give it away. Wow, how beautiful is that? So it feels as though what's coming through here in terms of energies is just a month where we're being asked to be more conscious than we normally are, to be very awake, to be very present, to be very mindful to the natural world, to what we are giving and what we are receiving, to the power of our own inner fire, to the emergence of the divine feminine who is coming in a more punchy, fiery way than maybe she's appeared through the rest of 2019. To be aware of the needs of our own inner child, and indeed the needs of children generally, to gather tribe, including family, and also a nod to the enormous protection that is around us at the moment, which is giving us strength to get ready for this new cycle. I still feel there's something I haven't quite got to with this family card, so I'm just going to go back to that before I wind up. Family. I'm going to pull a tarot card linked into that. Why have we got the family card, Circles of Life? Oh, okay. All right, well, I'm going to say that. I do know there's a few of you. I did a video on death and life and the soul the other day, and a few of you have contacted me to say there are people in your family who are quite near to passing over. I noticed every time, each of my two girls, when I gave birth to them, somebody in our family passed. Doesn't mean it has to happen, by the way. I'm not wanting to spread fear or anything like that. I just feel as though there's a natural cycle. This is called the Circles of Life, this card, okay? For new life to come into families, sometimes there are also passings, and it's the way of the world, okay? Yeah, you see, as I pulled that, we've got the Chariot came out, and the Ace of Air, which would be the Ace of Swords in a traditional deck, which is linked into truth and clarity. The Chariot, for the truth is, for the new earth to come in, where are we? For this to come in, with everything that's going to arrive with that, with this new divine feminine energy, new consciousness, there is going to be a clearing of the way, and it's as though the Chariot needs to be able to ride through to the new beginning with the weeds having been cleared from the path. The weeds aren't people, the weeds are energies that are no longer in alignment with the new beginning. There's a barbed wire fence here on this card. This is the Ace of Air, the Ace of Swords it would be. Okay, a barbed wire fence. For some people, this new earth, it's just a step too far. It's also maybe not what their soul signed up for. They've seen it to where they needed to see it to, and they can do more. They can be more help to us here on planet Earth from above. Okay, remember, the soul chooses where it can best serve, where it needs to be. There are people that are going to be passing out of the wider family. Take that away from your own family. I'm talking the wider family, the human family, that are going to be helping from a different dimension, okay? For those that are left below on Earth, as above, so below. So I feel that's why we've got the family card. So again, I'm feeling as though I'm talking to a few of you here. Some of you have got Christmases where you know maybe it's going to be the last one with a few people in your group. Make sure they're precious. Be present. Be mindful. Savor every last drop. Okay. Not in a maudlin way, in a way which is about a celebration of life, okay? Because life is eternal. This whole card is about circles of life. When something dies, there is always something that then comes back into bloom, okay? Wow. So a final card, and I'm going to pull this to a close. I didn't quite know where this reading was going to go. I just wanted to give free rein to whatever wanted to come through. So it's been quite interesting. Okay, final card, Metatron. December. I nearly said January then, didn't I? No, I'm not going to do that yet. December. Let's still stick in December. December 2020. Oh, God, no, don't jump ahead. Don't do that. Be present. Don't rush. December 2019. One more card, please. Eight of Earth, Tumeric. That's right back to the first card, being mindful of the everyday, finding the sacred within the mundane, hanging out your washing, making your soup, whatever it is that's happening there, okay? Tumeric, again, another great herb, which is very protective. I think I'm right in saying it's an antioxidant. I put turmeric in all my soups. I think it's an anti-cancer thing as well. It's good for the body anyway, turmeric. But to me, this is a card of, when I'm saying the humdrum, I don't mean that in a negative way. That's just a scene that's probably in all of your homes. I've got a house which looks out onto my garden, okay? It's about doing the washing, it's about doing the cooking, it's about doing the washing up. But within those moments, this is where the transformation can occur. It's where our ascension journey is just as real as in any other moment or any other part of the day. Bring the sacred into the mundane and have a blessed and holy December. I'll be back soon and probably do something for 12/12, I'm sure. Okay, much love everyone. I'll get this up now though for 1st of December. Bye-bye for now. Make sure you nourish that inner child as well. Bye.